What is your favorite strikeout performance that you remember? Mine personally was yesterday on that date, May 6th, 1998. Kerry Wood struck out 20 Houston batters. It was an awesome game. So tell me yours. Let's go. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Craig Ben, AK Cash Keg, back with another MLB Prizepicks strikeout video. It's been a few days since I've done these videos. I know you guys like them, so found four pitchers that I do like. We'll talk about their strikeout props. I think I've got two unders and two overs that we'll talk about, and I'll go through the stats of why I like them. And if you helps you with the research, if you want to fade them, tail them. I'm just here to do the research for you guys and to provide any value that I can. So with that, let's just dive right into it and talk about some strikeouts. All right, first one on tap. We've got Eduardo Rodriguez, Detroit, going up against Houston. 5.5 strikeouts here, and we're going to go the under on this one. The line is actually at 4.5 at some spots, and the under's at -150 on that. He's only hit 6 strikeouts and once this year against Minnesota. Going up against Houston, they are ranked 23rd in Major League Baseball in strikeouts, 23% clip against left-handed pitching. It's just a really good spot for them, I think, to take the under here. Rodriguez only has a 5.6% swinging strike rate, and it just lines up really well for him for the under here. So if we kind of dig a little bit deeper in some of his stats here, he really struggles against lefties. He has a 20.7% strikeout rate this season. And over those 5 games, 9.5% against lefties, so really struggles against lefties, and 23.3% against righties. And there's going to be some lefties in this lineup. Alvarez this year only strikes out 19% of the time. Brantley hardly ever strikes out, 13% against lefties. Tucker, 20%. There's really only 2 guys that are heavy strikeout guys, and they're at the bottom of the order, Suri and Maldonado. So everyone else is pretty good. Bregman's been struggling a little bit, but he's been doing a little bit better of late, swinging that bat, so I'm not too worried about him. So at this number, it's just way too high for me. I definitely want the under. Like I said, we're getting a full run here compared to some of the other spots that are out there. So we're going to look at taking the under here for Eduardo Rodriguez, under 5.5 strikeouts. Next one we're going to look at, we're going to come over here. Another under that makes me a little bit nervous because the line is kind of low, but I'm going to go with my gut, and we're going to take this one. It's going to be Zach Davies here going up against Colorado. 3.5 strikeouts, always a low number to take. Juice is on the under at -143. In his last 10 games, he's only went over this once, and it was against Washington this year. The rest of the games this year, 2 strikeouts against San Diego, 2 against the Mets, 3 against the Dodgers, and 2 against St. Louis. Going up against Colorado, they're ranked 21st in MLB in strikeouts at 21%. They got a 9% walk rate. His swinging strike rate is not very good at all. A 9% swinging strike rate, which is bottom quarter out of all pitchers, so it's not very good. Just not a massive strikeout guy. I've kind of dig into his numbers a little bit more here, and look at how Colorado does against righties striking out. There's really only 2 guys over the last 2 years that have struggled, pretty high strikeout numbers. It's Hilliard and Nunez, the bottom of that order. But he's been a 17% K guy this year, or over the last 2 years, 14% against lefties, 19% against righties. Kind of look at the stats this year over the last 5 games, 20% against righties, 12% against lefties, so struggled against lefties. And Nunez has actually done way better this year than he has last year. In 22 plate appearances, he only struck out 13% of the time. So, against these righties, there's a few strikeouts to be had, don't get me wrong, but I just think we'll slide with the under here at 3.5. It's probably my least favorite out of the 4, but he topped only 90 pitches, and that was the last game. The 5 games he pitched 75, 82, 78, 77, and 90, and he hasn't went over 5 innings in any of the matchups. 5, 4 and a third, 5, 4, and 5 innings. So if we're talking 15 outs and he needs 4 strikeouts, hopefully we can get by there. Kind of looking at some of the matchups that he's had. 22 plate appearances against Charlie Blackmon, only struck him out 6 times. Has had a little bit of success, but not a ton. Blackman's only striking out 19% of the time against righties. So, I think we're pretty good here. Even like guys like Grichuk, who strikes out a lot, out of 11 plate appearances, he struck out twice. McMahon's another guy that kind of strikes out a ton this year, 31%, but hasn't had a ton of Davies hadn't had a ton of success around him. 12 plate appearances, only struck out once against him. So, some of these guys that have bad strikeout numbers, Davies hasn't done really well against him. And small sample size, right? We got 5 plate appearances for Brendan Rodgers against Davies, and he hasn't struck out at all. So I'm going to go with my gut here and take the under, kind of look at the value that we can get at that number at minus 145 that's out there. We're going to take the under on this one. The next 2 we're going to look at are basically in the same game, so it should be fun if you're going to play something like that. And we're going to look at, first one we're going to look at here is we're going to look at Manaea. 6 strikeouts. Now you can get this at 5.5 out there. I'm going to take the over on this. If you can get it at 5.5, I love it more for sure. But the juice is around minus 135, minus 140 on the over. And it's just the Miami against left-handed pitching is not good. They are ranked first. They're ranked first in strikeouts. And they are 25th in WRC plus. Manea's got a 12% swinging strike rate, a little above average. Nothing fantastic, but he's done really well this year. If you look at 7 strikeouts against Arizona opening day, 6 strikeouts against San Francisco, 6 against Cincinnati, 5 against the Dodgers, and 6 against Pittsburgh. So he's done pretty consistent here. I wish we could get it at 5.5, but I'll still take a shot at the over on 6. I wish it was at 5.5. Threw 110 pitches against Pittsburgh last game. So he's definitely ramped up all the way. He threw 88, 86, 78, 86, and that 110 that last game. Pitching 7, 6, 6, 4 1/3 in that 6 2/3 innings. So he goes pretty deep in games, which gives him a shot at getting those strikeouts. And then just looking up and down it, if we look at just this season, Miami against left-hander hitters, oh my Lord, they are just gross. Aguilar, 35% K rate. Berti, 24% K rate. Soler, 29% K rate. Cooper, 38% K rate. Garcia, 42% K rate. Sanchez, 46% K rate. Now, these are pretty small sample size because it's just this year, but just saying how bad, top 6, there's 2 guys in the high 30s and 2 guys in the mid 40s. 4 guys right there. Stallings, 37%. So they really struggle against lefties. And I think we can take advantage of that here for sure. So we're going to take Manaea over 6 strikeouts here. The next one we're going to go to is we're going to go right next door. We're going to go on the other side. We're going to take Pablo Lopez. I'm going to take over 5 here on this. Same kind of deal here. The juice is on the over at minus 150 at the 4.5 mark. I wish we could get it at 4.5, but it's been bet up to 5. I'm still okay with 5. We look at what he's done this year. 6 strikeouts against San Francisco opening day, only 2 against Philly, then bounce back with 9 against St. Louis, 6 against Washington, and 7 against Arizona. He's got a massive 15% swinging strike rate, which is, top 10% in MLB. And San Diego's got some hot bats. I'm not saying they don't. They're ranked 17th, though, in strikeouts this year. And if we kind of look at their numbers and dig in them a little bit for Pablo Lopez this season, there's not a ton of Ks to have there. Kim's 23% K rate, Machado's 22% K rate, Grissom's 29% K rate, but Lopez has just been unreal this year. 29% K rate this year, and he's done it 22% against lefties, 36 against righties. So just eats up those righties, and there's a ton of righties in this lineup that we can get. And I think I think he can get there. I do. He's done really well. Like I said, this year, that swinging strike rate is pretty crazy at 15%. So as long as he can keep this going, like I said, the only worry is with, how well the San Diego's offense has been going. But we kind of look at what he's done. His pitch count's been pretty high. He's had St. Louis, he pitched 100 pitches. Last game against Arizona, 97 pitches. One thing I like is just he pounds the strike zone, right? If we look at the called strikes over this season, 39%, 32%, 34%, 30, and 33%. So a ton of called strikes. So he's throwing strikes. In St. Louis, he went 7 innings. In Arizona, only 4 and 2/3 innings and still struck out 7. So we'll take the over 5 here. I think he can get 5. Again, the matchup's a lot harder for him than it is for Manaea, but I'll take the chance at the over here, and hopefully we get a pitcher's duel on both sides of it. So here are the 4 pitchers that I do like. If I had to say number 1, it's definitely Eduardo Rodriguez as the under 5.5. Number 2 for me would be Sean Manaea at over 6 strikeouts. Number 3, I'm going to take the under on Zach Davies, 3.5 strikeouts. And then I'm going to take number 4, Pablo Lopez, over 5 strikeouts. So hopefully you like those. If you want to see more strikeout videos, hit that like button for me. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. Deuces.